Like, my guy, you can like what you like, but you're wrong. I'm sorry.
But I'm in a fortress, man, I feel trapped. King of the hill, but I'm still under attack. And I feel less inside when these weapons fly. And ain't nobody got my back. Cause I feel my aggressive when I'm under pressure. I'm losing my focus, I'm missing my steps.
I still love anime and manga. I'm not I don't read manga anymore. I'm trying to get back into it now, but then I primarily watch anime. I have weekly series that I follow each week. And yeah, I watch a lot of anime YouTube as well. So that's me.
That's funny. I'm like the exact opposite. Like in the case of, I actually don't watch anime anymore at all. I think anime is just too time consuming.
Honestly.
So I just read a manga and I can read a whole, like, I can read maybe like 60, 70 pages in like a minute. Like I'm so like
Wait, what?
Okay,
Did you say
maybe
60 to 70.
Okay, maybe
he's not lying because I can't lie. Like last week after we finished the podcast, I told Michael that the latest Kimetsu no Yaiba was out. I started reading it. I was like 2 pages in. He called me back. Yosi, did you see the chapter? We're not going to say what happened in the chapter. I'm like, how did you read this? That I'm on page 2. This guy's read the whole chapter. Like I analyzed it, so like let the information sink in, and then called me back.
Yeah,
I don't know what kind of...
Because there was a point where I literally did not have time, because like Akin, I stopped watching TV years ago. Like I can't remember the last time I followed a series at all. Like even in secondary school, these guys, I used to get corned for reading books all the time.
Oh yeah, shit, you did. You'd always have a book on you.
Yeah, I always have a book on me. Like, so I hadn't watched a film like actual TV in
thought you were like Yagami. Is that the right one?
Not even then. I just loved books. I loved books, man. I love reading books. And I love reading books in noisy areas as well, because the noisy areas, like, it's like a background sound to me. So yeah, like literally, it's very efficient for me to, like, I'm literally reading One Piece again, and I'm already on like 400, and I just started like yesterday.
Oh,
that's wild.
Let me tell you what Michael did, the con artist he is.
Excuse me. Go on, you might as well.
Yeah. Basically, for a long time, this guy pretended that he was following One Piece. So he would just join in on our conversations, but he didn't read it. He just pretended.
I've never actually read One Piece.
We just all believed him, and I'll be telling him about everything in the story, and this guy is just going on the conversation like he knows.
But you've never actually read it properly.
Until recently.
Like I only started recent. I just jumped on, and I was like, I kind of already get it because everyone's been talking about it for so long, and I've been entertaining the conversation for so long, and I just let people believe what they wanted to believe.
I felt betrayed.
No, I'm the complete opposite of you, though, because like for me, I used to like manga. Manga is what got me through my early years, right? But then I feel like there's just an experience when you watch the anime, right? Where it's like it comes with the music and the voice acting and everything. It just adds a whole different dimension. Like for instance, something like My Hero now, where the anime isn't great, and everyone keeps telling me to just read up to the current arc because it gets so much better. But then I watched some of the scenes, like the scene that came out just a couple weeks ago where they did like the school performance and Eri finally smiled, and I was like, bro, that was such like a wholesome experience to watch it. But then if I already knew it was coming, the experience wouldn't be as good for me. Right?
Do you know what? I kind of disagree with that, you know.
I disagree with that also.
Simply because
I agree.
I disagree because when I'm the opposite, when I know a scene which I've read like maybe 2-3 years ago is going to be animated, I'm super excited. And the one scene which I think of to mind is the when Reiner reveals to Eren that him and Berthold are the Colossal and Armored Titan. That scene, arguably, is probably my most memorable anime scene I've ever seen. And like I've known about that chapter for years, but watching it was kind of like I was still in shock because of all of the stuff we mentioned, like the music, obviously the animation. It just added to that. Obviously, something which was already partially ingrained in me, but then it was just like extras on top. Like I'm the opposite in that department. Like,
I feel you, but I don't know. I feel like when you know what's gonna happen, well, maybe that's an exception, but I feel like when you know what's gonna happen, the moment doesn't hit the same. Like I feel like the best experience is when you're watching it in the anime for the first time. But someone like me, I'm not patient enough for that. Normally when I watch a series, I'll catch up. But like I can't wait enough year for another season, so I'll just go and binge the manga and catch up to that point. So then by the time the anime comes out again, I'm just like, I'll watch bits of it, but I'm not following.
You almost slapped that thing away.
That nigga like attacked.
I knocked off my microphone for the people listening. Yeah, like shit.
But like, even with that, don't you feel, because that's all well and good if the anime does the manga justice. Like, imagine if there's a scene which you haven't read in the manga, because the manga is always the truest form.
Yeah,
anything.
It depends on the series.
And there's also sometimes when you've read a manga, it's refreshing to see it in another view. Like in Kimetsu no Yaiba, do you remember when they were fighting the drum demon?
Yeah, because obviously the drum demon is... Yeah, I remember.
But watching that, like, to me, that was just like, okay, cool, it's the first boss. Like, it's nice to see him progress. But watching that scene in the anime version, work of art. And nothing could even prepare me for, like, just that level.
No,
but then to back kind of Yosi and Solomon, I would say that doesn't happen as much.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
because like a lot of the time, what I see from people who watch anime, who read the manga, like My Hero is one of the one series that I watch consistently. So I'll use that as an example. The Lemillion fight. I watched that episode and I was blown away. I was like, yo, that was amazing. I felt all the feels. And then I go on, I think it was Twitter, and all of the manga readers were just like, yo, that was garbage. It wasn't the same. They didn't make it. So because you're comparing it to something, if it's not exactly the same, or if you maybe feel it's worse, then you're not able to enjoy the anime to its fullest. Whereas I, who am completely ignorant, a sheep, I loved it. I was like, this is one of the most the wholesome episodes I've watched yet. Like, I was hyped.
Yeah, because I think the reason is because especially when there's a big moment in anime, there's a lot of emotion surrounding it. So if you're watching that moment without the emotion, the anticipation, like what's going to happen next, it's not going to feel special. So for most people, the anime moment is never going to match up to the manga because you can never see it for the first time again.
No, but I hear what you're saying, but okay, for that Lemillion fight, isn't that more of a argument that the anime needs to do better because it's not rising to the occasion of the manga, rather than you saying that it's removed the feelings and appreciation of the anime? Isn't it more like, cool, the anime has not done enough?
But I'm saying that it might do, like it might be doing enough, but to a person that's already read the manga, it's like they won't experience it the same as someone who doesn't know what's about to happen. It's a different experience. So even if it's great, for someone who knows what's going to happen, it's like, oh, what's going to happen? Well, like we know like this moment's coming up. But like, for example, with that Lemillion thing, when it's an anime, so I could say, when he loses his powers, that's a big moment. Like, you don't, like, this guy is such an amazing character. You don't expect that to happen. Like that's a one-time thing. You can't catch lightning in the bottle twice with that sort of thing. So for someone who's read the manga, it's never going to be as good.
Yeah, it's true.
But then good, it depends on how you define good, right? Because for someone who's read the manga, when animations are done correctly, I feel like you have a greater appreciation of what you've just seen, because you kind of like, you understand the significance of that moment in the further storyline, as opposed to you're just in that moment. Like,
but sometimes you want to just be in the moment, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It depends. Like, you can either just be in the moment, or it's like you can understand. This is why, like, when One Piece does the animation well, it's great for someone like me, because I already know what goes on like 100, 200 chapters later.
Yeah.
But then you understand the significance of that anime moment for the grander scheme of the story, as opposed to just being in the moment.
Yeah.
So I think it depends.
I think it depends on the show, because, like, for example, One Piece used to be like, now in the current arc 1, they're doing a lot better with the anime, but there was a time when the anime was kind of trash, because what they would do is
Had for time.
What's it called, in canon filler. So they would stretch out episodes with stuff that doesn't happen in the manga, and nothing's happening in the episode because it's close, because the anime is so close to the manga that they don't want to catch up. But I feel like a lot of the time that kind of ruins the experience. So that's why One Piece, I prefer the manga by far. they've improved it in more recent arcs, but it used to be like during the Dressrosa arc, that it was criminal. Then like there was something, because in the manga, in the manga for that arc, it was really too long. It was 100 chapters, and in the anime, it was something like 120 episodes. How can 120 episodes match up to 100 chapters? Do you know how slow each episode is going to be for that to happen?
True.
So it kind of sometimes when they include fillers and they use a bit of their creative license with the anime, it makes it worse than the manga. Same thing with Naruto. In the end, I stopped watching Naruto because it just kept on doing fillers. I remember one time, like before the war arc, there was this bit with a boat. So like it was been months of fillers, and then they finally went back to this episode that was finally in canon. I was like, yes, they're finally going into the war. They got on the boat. Like in the manga, they're on the boat for like one chapter, then they move on to like something to do with the war. They got on this boat. I started another filler arc. After that, I said no more. I didn't watch the end of Naruto until years later. I just followed it in the manga because I couldn't do it anymore.
The ostrich,
crazy.
The ostrich. Oh my, yeah. Let's not even.
It just. Nah. I feel like they can ruin the experience sometimes, especially like how they use fillers. So that's why manga's my preference.
Makes sense. I mean, that's a good segue into Yosi, because like we've all said our stories, but what about you, my G?
Yeah, what about me?
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I wish I said mine before Solomon's, because that was just like it was such an amazing story of triumph and persistence to get the anime.
Really
he had barriers in his way,
honestly.
and he used to fight. But yeah, so let me get to my story. So how did I start?
Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed this content, please hit like, share it with your friends who you think might like it too, and subscribe on whatever platform you're watching this video on. We're going to be doing a lot of discussions and debates in the future, so if you'd like to stay tuned for all of that, hit the notification bell and leave a comment with any thoughts you had on the things we discussed. I think that's everything, so catch you in the next one. Bye.
I'm about to go Super Saiyajin. Feel the fire coming off my skin. In the future, that's where I've been. So I'm about to tell y'all where the end begins. It's all black, whack, where my kin. It's cold outside, I need to bring y'all in.